think about him as a candidate for Fighter of the Year? I know it's not something you think about too much, but he's had a pretty good year and he's fought twice and won impressively. What do you think?
I think you can give him that. Yeah, I think you could give him that. I mean, the knockouts. Knockouts was amazing. I mean, he knocked out 2 people cold. I mean, highlight real knockouts. Then he beat a young, prospect up-and-comer like Errol Spence, who everybody was comparing, to me. So, I mean, he could get it.
So one last question for you. Kell Brook, obviously you're not going to fight him again, but how do you think it is for a guy to come back from 2 serious facial fractures like that? He's had 2 surgeries. How do you expect him to try to overcome that?
It's all depend on the person, but, I mean, mentally, it has to be in the back of your mind. I mean, 2 fractures, it has to be playing in the back of your mind, but, he could come back. It depends on how serious he take it. He's moving up in weight, 154. Those are bigger guys, so, it depends how serious he take it. If he's taking it serious and, 100% dedicated and, come back hungry as he was when he first started boxing, then, he could do well. But, it all depends on his mental aspect.
Well, if you had an injury, that's a pretty serious injury, and back-to-back fights, how would you deal with that?
I would take some time off, but when I come back, I would seriously do some sparring and test it out. And then if it feels fine and I get hit on it and, it feels normal, then I get back to boxing. But if I'm having problems or if I'm gun shy and, I'm kind of, weary about getting hit, I will hang it up. So it all depends on, how your mental mindset is.
Did you sense in that fight that there was something wrong with him with the other side of his face, or did that or no?
Nah, not necessarily until probably the 8th round where, he started the eyes started puffing up, and I didn't really notice that because I'm just in the fight, but his eyes started puffing up, so I kind of noticed. I was like, okay, he's getting, something might be wrong. Something might be wrong when he started backing up and started, making weird, body gestures. Yeah. So I understand.
How do you think he'll do it with 54?
Like I said, it's all on him. Like, he has the skills, he has the tangibles. It's just all on how serious is he gonna take it. He's real heavy right now. I heard Cotto, they offered him to fight, but he said he was too big or something like that. So, and I seen him on Instagram. He's heavy right now, so it all depends on him, man. If he's hungry, then he'll do well. But if he's slacking and doing all the bad habits, then he'll wind up with the same result. So we'll see.
You just mentioned Cotto, and he's obviously fighting on Saturday.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on him fighting Saddam Ali won? And I know the fight was offered to you, but there were a lot of stipulations, obviously.
Yeah, he deserves it. Cotto is a guy who's never ducked anybody. You never known Cotto to duck anybody, come out and say, oh, Cotto didn't want to fight this guy. Like, Cotto fought the best fighters, in his prime and never ducked opposition. So, if he want to fight Saddam Ali, he can fight Saddam Ali. He deserves it, So,
if they didn't,
I let him go with that pass.
If there weren't stipulations about you signing with Golden Boy and blah, 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 you obviously would have taken the fight, right?
Yeah. He's a future Hall of Famer. Cotto has a great resume, one of the best Puerto Rican fighters of all time, and definitely I took that fight.
How do you think it would have went?
I don't know, man. Me winning, but I think it would have been a good fight. Cotto, he's tough, he's very crafty, got a lot of experience, and he can box. He's somebody that I watched a lot too.
You think he's still got enough left, though?
Yeah, definitely. I think he has enough left to beat Saddam Ali.
Surprised that he's retiring based on having something in the tank?
I'm not surprised. He had a long career. He's been around for a long time. And, all his classmates are retiring. So, it's about that time, you just sell off, man. Money-wise, he's good. So, why scramble your brain even more just to stick around,
Thanks, Errol. Appreciate it.
No problem. Currently, the welterweight division is the deepest that I've seen in a long time. Do you feel like it's the best division in boxing right now?
Definitely. I feel like the welterweight division always been, the best division in boxing with, skill-wise with fighters. And, like you said, it just everybody's the best got to fight each other. If the best fight the best, we get the fans what they want, great fights. And I think it'll bring boxing, back to the threshold where, where boxing was, shown on network TV, and it was, everybody was watching it. So I think it'll get back to that golden era. We got to fight, and we got to stop, doing a lot of politics and things like that, and let the best fight the best.
Speaking of the golden era, who did you idolize growing up?
Growing up, I watched a lot of Lennox Lewis. My dad being Jamaican, me being Jamaican, and we watched a lot of Lennox Lewis growing up. And then I watched Zab Zuda. Then it was Roy Jones, of course. I come from that era where even when I wasn't boxing, I was watching Roy Jones because he was like Superman to everybody. Everybody watching Roy Jones. He was that guy. So, then it was like Floyd Mayweather later on. But idolized, it was Roy Jones and Lennox Lewis.
For about a 4-year span, he was arguably the most avoided fighter in boxing.
Yeah.
We have a monster matchup coming up in the super featherweight division with the two most avoided fighters today, so they figured to meet each other.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight going, and who do you have winning?
Who the most avoided?
Rigondeaux.
Oh yeah, Rigondeaux. Yeah, Lomachenko. I think Rigondeaux is more avoided than Lomachenko. But I see that fight skill-wise, it being a great fight. Rigondeaux getting his opportunity. Heard they said if he lose, he has to vacate his 122 title belt. So it's on him. If he loses, nobody's gonna want to fight him, and they're gonna put him back on the shelf. So, I'm hoping Rigondeaux win. I'm a big fan of Rigondeaux. I don't like how he's been treated. So, but I think it's gonna be a great fight.
And
Errol, just one quick question. What do you think about Manny Pacquiao wanting to fight McGregor instead of fighting the top welterweights like you?
You get Pacquiao pass. He can fight McGregor if he wants to. Pacquiao, he's been around the sport for a long time. He fought the best fighters out there, like I said. So, if you want to fight McGregor, why not? It's about the money. And Manny Pacquiao, he's fought the top fighters out there. In his prime, out of his prime. He's fought all uncomers that top rank offered him. So, if you want to fight that and get the money, why not?